Welcome in Tuesday edition, Blue Sky Live here with you today. Chase Parham, Neal, McCready, Clark Ford Studio. We'll talk a little bit about Lane Kiffin speaking to the media yesterday. Gave a couple glimpses into what Ole Miss did during their scrimmage on Saturday as we're leading up to August 31st. Ole Miss and Furman kick off the 2024 football season. We'll look at least one person's ranking of the entire FBS system for 2024. Ole Miss comes out number 6 in the AP poll, and a different set of opinions. Talk about those things a little bit more as well coming up on a pretty football-heavy show with you here today. A show brought to you every day by Blue Sky locations throughout Mississippi, Sweet Daddy locations throughout Mississippi, ribs, pulled pork, side items, dessert, and much more. Clean, convenience stores. Check them out. Let them take care of you. No matter where you are in Mississippi, there's one close by. Again, up and down I-55 throughout North Mississippi, and then locally here in the Oxford area with the Oxford Exxon. Lunch specials, $5.69, couple sides, bread, any size fountain drink, and more. So all that coming to you from Blue Skies, and we're coming to you from the Clark Ford Studio.
We are Clark Ford's in Amory, Mississippi, 662-257-1900 is that number. Call it. Ask for Corey Clark. Tell Corey what Ford product you're looking for. He'll send you a quote within 15 minutes in business hours. Right to the bottom line. No hassle, no haggle. You get your quote. The rest is up to you. You can shop that quote around. You can do what I've done multiple times now. What I recommend that you do, and that's hop into a Clark Ford. You'll love the product. You'll love the service. Corey and the people at Clark Ford, they want to be your car guy. They want to be your truck guy. They'll prove to you what that means when you make the call. Don't forget to check out their Facebook page. It's Larry Clark Ford, Larry Clark Chevrolet. Check out both of those if you're looking for something specific, or if you're just trying to get ahead on something that hit their lot and hasn't hit the internet yet. You can do that as well. 662-257-1900. Guest join on the Campbell Clinic hotline. From fractures and sports injuries to complex spine and limb conditions, the pediatric orthopedic physicians at Campbell Clinic in Oxford are the only specialized pediatric orthopedic team in North Mississippi providing expert care for growing bodies. So visit campbellclinicoxford.com to schedule an appointment or call 901-759-3111.
Question stream. See Simon saying, excited about football season. You find yourself dreading the start and the grind of it. I actually hate this period more than the actual season. We get games, and I mean, there's a routine to it. It's a lot of work, but it's busy. It's fun. It's this where we're not there yet that I actually find myself not liking. Like I've struggled with it a little bit because you're just doing the same content over and over and saying the same things over and over, and we just need to play a game. Like it's the struggle with knowing like what the news is and the lack of anything necessarily that drives me insane right now.
Huh. I normally am that way. I don't know what the word is. Sort of agnostic, I guess, to the whole thing, maybe. I mean, I just here lately, I just get up and go. I just do the thing. I don't even think about it that much. Like I had to wake up today and go, okay, well, how many days? And I get confused because I don't like the whole week 0 thing. I don't mind.
I'm not counting it.
I don't mind the games, but I'm like, how's it week 0 if it's really the first week? How does that? And so that
feels like a clerical error a little bit, doesn't it?
It does. And so it kind of throws me off. And so I sort of disregard that. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't dread it. I'm not one of these people that, this. Because I don't think you can do what we do and like just consume the football 15 hours a day. I think you'd lose your mind. So I don't know. I'm interested, certainly. See what happens. I always know going into the season, someone's going to be a disappointment and someone's going to be a surprise. It's always interesting to find out who is those two things. I'm not unlike you. I'm not a giant fan of preseason content, like enough. You know what I mean? I mean, like right now, like I'll go out tonight at 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, whenever it is that we get our 15 minutes.
Practice tonight, by the way. Lane, just like last week, he's trying, even though they're practicing 2 days in a row, he's trying to maximize the number of off hours in between practices.
Yes. So they'll go tonight. We'll be on Deion Smith watch, I suppose. So there'll be something new. But other than that, it's just your calling roll. You have 15 minutes to do it. Then that's it. I'll come home and write up something, and that'll be that. But yeah, at some point.
And on until tomorrow.
At some point, you're like, yeah, let's play a game, see what happens. The question I get from people all the time is, are you nervous about the season? And my answer is no, God, no. Not even a little bit. I mean, it'll be what it'll be. I have no control over it. If I got nervous over something that I had zero control over, that would.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like our responsibility is just to set the entire table. Is, hey, here's what could go really well. If it goes poorly, here's what goes poorly.
Yeah.
Here's what this looks like. Here's what this looks like. I mean, to prepare you guys for consuming the season is, I think, our job. It's information, it's entertainment, it's just hanging out. I mean, that's kind of what it has become in 2024. That's like I was texting with a really good friend last night, and he said, and I'll read the exact text. I'm not going to use his name, so he's not going to get frustrated with me.
Elon Musk?
Yeah, exactly. I was on the Spaces last night, and when that happened, let's see. Said trying to temper expectations, and I'm really not trying to temper expectations. They could be great, could be fantastic.
Sure.
I just don't like the preseason content where you only ask people questions to go, hey, what's awesome about this team?
Yes.
And you don't go, hey, if it doesn't go well, what does that look like? Because to me, that's just simply full circle concepts of that.
It's shitty journalism. Pardon my language.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's bad. It's just being fanatic. And those are the very same people that when something bad happens, it takes them hours to recover before they can put anything out. I think we're good at that. So
yeah,
and I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just being honest. I mean, just can't. You got to go into it with, okay, they're going to play. I think what makes this season for the team we cover interesting is that I don't know that there's truly a test until the end of September. And so we've got these first few weeks that are essentially preseason games. Like, what will we really know about Ole Miss after Furman? Not a lot.
Nada.
What will we really know about Ole Miss after Middle Tennessee? Not a lot. Wake Forest, maybe a little bit because it's on the road against an ACC team. Georgia Southern, same. So I mean, we're week 5 before we can start going, okay, let's see what they are or what they aren't. Now, there will be other teams that play games. LSU plays USC. Texas plays Michigan. There are games, Kentucky plays South Carolina. There are games where we'll watch and go, okay, well, I think we know some things about those teams. But the team that we cover in terms of like a true litmus test where I think you can come to some conclusions of sorts one way or the other, I think it's going to be a minute.
Well, because it's going to be the hyper version in all ways, in every way of that. Okay, bear with me, people. Give me 2 seconds to explain before you have panic attacks. Much like the opening of the 2009 Ole Miss football season. Now, look, this team is better than 2009 as far as mentally, talent. I'm not making that comparison.
Yeah.
The comparison I'm making is that team started the season 8 in the country.
Mm-hmm.
It took 3 weeks for you to have any idea if they had a pulse or didn't have a pulse. They moved up to number 4, which is what everybody talks about. They're number 4, and they went to Carolina, and Eric Norwood wrecked them, and the whole deal happened and all that stuff that night.
Yeah.
But they beat Memphis 45-14, and then they beat Southeastern Louisiana 52-6. You knew nothing going into week 3. Now it's week 5, probably.
Well, and further to your point, back then we had loads of access, and that allowed you to see that it was a tight team, that there was a lot of tension.
They canceled that inside the NFL thing kind of deal they were going to do, that hard knocks, if you will, for the college game.
I always tell the story. Chris Lowe was at practice, and he was standing over there talking to me one day, and he's like, they're really tight, aren't they? I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is overwhelming. And I don't think that's the case with this team, but we're not out there enough to know. I mean, I can't say that emphatically. I'm pretty sure. But I'm not out there. I don't know. What we see is we're seeing warm up to practice.
Yeah, we're seeing basic individual drills. That's what we watch.
Yeah. Lane did talk a little bit. Like, we see in the third period, we see this very brief, I don't even know what the drill is. I think it's just they're running some offense versus defense. It's not full speed. It's not whatever. But it's been they're experimenting with different offensive line combinations. This is 2 practices in a row. Preston Cushman's been running with the, quote, first team offense, end quote, in that period 3 drill. That doesn't mean that he's running first team in period 13. I don't know. I'm not there. I don't see it. I don't know. Like I told somebody yesterday, they were asking about, are you curious? And I'm like, well, I mean, here's the thing. When they play Furman on the first offensive play, they're going to run 11 dudes out there, or else it's going to be a penalty.
Well, they could run 10. Wouldn't be a penalty.
That's true. I'm going to guess they run 11. If they run 12, they're going to throw a flag and make somebody leave, and the first snap's going to be with 11. And so we'll talk about who those 11 are.
Yeah, look, I fully believe they're going to be 6-0 when they go to Baton Rouge, and we'll tell you guys to buckle up, and we'll have a game night, and we'll see what happens, and then you'll go from there. And then, really, from there, it gets real every week with some sort of interesting thing. I mean, I think that is part of it. Is that I feel like we have this huge extended preseason to where it's just like,
I'm trying not to take the bait in the thread. I'm just letting it go. Overhead.
Yes, Bruce Feldman reporting that Deion Smith is eligible. I fully believe Bruce's report on this, and that he will suit up tonight for the Rebels.
I mean, literally, other people reported a week ago that he was eligible, and
Yeah.
he wasn't quite eligible yet. There is, and this whole, I can't believe I'm about to go defend compliance here, but I'm about to defend compliance. It's not as simple as the kid declaring himself eligible. That's not how this works. It's like Michael Scott declaring bankruptcy. It's not that simple. I declare bankruptcy. Okay, well.
There's paperwork involved.
I mean, there was some paperwork, and Ole Miss got it done in less than a week.
Yeah.
What is this angst and stuff? It's like, chill. And he's not a victim. He quit school at LSU as a freshman after the drop ad date. To his credit, he's got himself back to this opportunity.
A lot of people would have quit. Sure.
A lot of people would have quit.
Yeah,
but
100%.
He wasn't the victim of a conspiracy here. I mean, it happened to, he kind of dug the hole himself. He's crawled out of it. Congratulations. It wouldn't have gotten done any faster at Alabama or anywhere else. They had to,
and it had zero to do with with the clearinghouse or any of that crap.
They just had to work through it.
Yeah.
And make sure that he met the requirements to be a student.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I saw people yesterday making way more of a deal out of it than it is. It's cool. It's fine.
Yeah.
This hasn't impeded his ability to help or not help the Rebels. He'll be all right either way.
Yeah.
Whatever he is or is not.
And he'll have to work his way into a role. Micah Davis, the Utah State receiver, has already begun to work his way into a role, made some plays.
They like him on special teams a lot.
Yeah, so again, it's one of the benefits of having the early season that they have. You have some time to experiment into the season.
So I'm going to look at that real quick. Their wide receiver core at the moment, getting to it.
I won't do it, but I would love to sometime have the conversation about who was a worse character, Jenny on Forrest Gump or Jan on The Office. You haven't watched enough of The Office.
No,
to really
I'm not
dive in.
your person for that conversation. I mean, I'm aware of Jan. I've seen some Jan, but not to the level that I'm putting in the Jenny category.
She went, I mean, spoiler alert, she went and got a sperm donor to make her pregnant and then wanted Michael to raise the kid as the dad. And Michael's one goal in life, which you sort of know over the course of the show, is that Michael really, really wants to be married with children.
Yeah.
Really wants family. The lack of family is what he turns The Office into his family.
Correct.
When Jim and Pam have a baby, in Michael's world, it's his baby. He did this. And so Jan, it's just crazy.
So, I mean,
Jan's bad. Jan's a bad person.
The thesis, you think Jan may be worse?
Yes. Because I'm not sure that Jan ever redeemed herself.
And she also didn't
Jenny
have,
at the end
and she also
redeemed
didn't
herself.
have a history of abuse and drugs and being assaulted as a child.
She was just
the best of our knowledge.
She was just a bad person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're thinking more psychopath here with her than Okay.
Yeah. And he wants the plasma TV, so she lets him get like an 11-inch plasma TV. And she turns like a whole extra room in the apartment into a candle factory.
Again, I'm really behind on this. Like, it's fine. I know it is a huge hole in my pop culture knowledge. He's with her when they have the dinner party.
Yeah.
Okay, that is her. Yeah.
It takes hours for dinner.
Yeah. I mean, that show is marked by some of the episodes that are just so wildly uncomfortable that it's hard to watch them.
That's where the writers are having fun. It's like, let's make this uncomfortable for people.
Yeah.
Funny, but uncomfortable. Like, make it stop.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Scott's Tots uncomfortable, but it's
that's like a challenge to watch.
It's hard.
Scott's Tots. You're just, it's agonizing. I love that show. Sorry.
No, you're good. So,
I mean, I think there's just a lot. That show was incredibly written.
Let's see. Yeah, I know I'm completely. The Office is better than How I Met Your Mother. How I Met Your Mother is not 10 seasons of great television. It's 3 really good sitcom seasons, maybe Elite, and it's just where I was in life and what I was watching. The Office is clearly better. I'm not doing.
I forgot how she shatters his TV with a Dundee. Sorry, everybody. I apologize. I know you want football, but
you're good.
We got 18 more days. I mean, it just is what it is. I can't make it go faster.
So today, wide receivers, the room, Aiden Williams. We'll see.
Talented he looks the part.
He is phenomenal in practice all the time. We said we're not doing it this year, so we're going to wait and see it. But he always looks phenomenal out there.
I mean, he looks like an NFL wide receiver when you just watch him run around in practice without stuff.
Juice Wells, one of 2 guys that Lane mentioned, they just simply need healthy and that they expect him to be healthy. He was talking about he and Princely.
Princely's coming back from a labrum, and so you can sort of see that progress happening day to day. Like I can't think of Lou's last name, one of the defensive analyst coaches guys that helps.
Okay, yeah.
During the period that we're watching, since Princely can't do some of the physical stuff yet, I'm sure he could, but it probably is not part of the rehab plan. They have him working on a lot of like pass rush and pass coverage stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really he and DJ Holmes Jr., who's also in a black jersey, undisclosed injury. I don't know, whatever. And they're really working on those things. But you can tell that Princely is getting a lot of one-on-one with Lou on what he's doing. Wells, on the other hand, is over with the physical therapy people, the conditioning people, those people, I don't know what they're called, training staff, medical staff, whatever. And that's all we see. Now, it's possible that the moment we leave, he comes out and works with the offense. I don't know.
He appears to be doing some sort of therapy and basically practicing route running when I have seen him. It appears that it's cutting and route running, and
there doesn't appear to be some major concern.
No. He's moving fine, but he looks normal to me.
Again, if you have to have Juice Wells and Princely Emmanuel completely healthy to beat Furman or Middle Tennessee, we're going to be having a different conversation soon anyway, so to hell with it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't, for them, I don't think it's an 18-day countdown.
No, it's like a 30-day countdown.
Yeah.
Maybe more.
18 plus 14 is 32, and you might be able to add another 14 to that. Yeah. So it might be.
But they probably like him to at least be on the field against Wake.
So, it's a 39-day countdown.
Yeah. Got a minute.
Yeah. So I don't know where all that stands. Lane doesn't seem concerned. Anyway, I interrupted your train of thought on wide receiver.
Yeah, I'm just going through the room a little bit. I mean, I think it's relevant to the Deion Smith conversation. Micah Davis, again, Lane likes him. Returner, we'll see. Kind of a Swiss Army knife. Small dude.
Said he could play inside or outside. Yeah, they've got him listed at 5'11", and I don't buy it.
No, that feels
5'9", maybe.
Yeah, which surprised me a little about the inside-outside. He shocked a lot of people yesterday saying that Trey Harris would be in the running for most improved player on the team yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, that's
substantial.
Yeah.
It's noteworthy.
It's not the kind of flowery stuff that Lane typically does. Now, he likes Trey a lot.
He does.
He likes Trey's work ethic.
Yeah, and I'll get to Lane in a minute. He has people. He goes, hey, I'm really gonna pep them up. Jordan Watkins, he's in a black jersey most of the time, but he's been all right. I mean, you know what you're getting with Jordan there. Caden Lee, talked to him yesterday. He came out. Everybody likes Caden Lee.
Yeah, I mean,
it's
let me let everybody in on something.
Yeah.
Okay. Even people like us who are not cheerleaders, we sort of cheer for Caden.
Uh-huh.
He's a really good kid. He's a fun interview. I think he kind of is one of those guys that sort of likes us. He doesn't mind us, I should say.
No.
And so, I don't know, like might be way too strong.
I get it.
But he tolerates us. And we all kind of cheer for him. So, I don't know how to put that out. So, I think you have to take some of our stuff with a grain of salt. If the media were to pass out a Hey, one of our favorite guys award, he would probably be on the short list.
We don't do that anymore. That was a few years there where that was a thing.
Yeah, it was David Brandt and then did
Kellenberger kind of.
Kellenberger,
Yeah, I think Kellenberger did it.
Yeah.
It's basically like the good guy award. You give a little trophy to the guy who shows up.
Who would have won it last year? Jared Ivey? Jared would have been on the short list.
Yeah. Because you almost have to not give it to a quarterback on purpose because they have to show up a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So it would have been Jared, JJ Pegues.
Actually, I think I might have voted for JJ.
It'd been close.
I'm going it through my head now, and I mean nothing against Jared, obviously, but yeah, I think
Caden Prieskorn.
Yeah, and then hey, I'm getting thrown out there with nothing to say award goes to Trey Washington.
Absolutely, that's his.
Yeah,
it's his.
Trey deserves a plaque for just taking the bullets on days that
the 15th time that Trey walks into the media room and he just stares at us and we stare at him and everybody's like, I got nothing.
And he knows we got nothing.
Yeah. Now he's out there for a reason. It's like your thoughts on Louisiana Monroe.
Uh-huh.
They're really talented.
So
anything else? Nope.
It's that rotation. And then we'll see where Neal White comes in or doesn't come in. I mean, true freshman.
Well, look, again, now, third period, take it for what it's worth. But they've
take Trey's job.
No, but they've done a lot of this 4 and 5 wide thing. And if you're going to play 4 and 5 wides, you're going to have 8-9 receivers to do it. And Neal was out there with the quote first team end quote in period 3 yesterday. And guys really rave about him. Now, again, we don't see what it looks like in team. We don't know what that transition from high school to college is going to be. It was difficult for Aiden a year ago, which doesn't mean it will be difficult for Aiden this year. There's been lots of guys that struggled as freshmen
that suddenly
or just had regular freshman years and were phenomenal as sophomores. That does happen. I realize that's not part of the current transfer portal narrative, but it does still exist. Young people at that age make leaps. Carson was a much better soccer player as a junior than he was a sophomore. It does happen.
Seems like pretty basic deal there.
So Neal, what he does as a freshman or can't do as a freshman, I don't know.
Yeah. So that's where Deion Smith is coming into. That's the rotation that Ole Miss currently has at wide receiver.
It's a crowded room. And he's going to have to earn time. He's going to have to learn the offense. It's I'm sure they'll find a role for him. But if
we'll see what his physical condition is, good or bad.
Well, I mean, that's one of the things that will be really interesting. I'm sure he'll look really good.
Yeah.
But there's a difference between training, even with Shea, who I'm sure has done a phenomenal job of training him.
Yeah.
It's still not the same as training all summer long with your teammates in that environment. It's just not.
There is a transition that is just what it is. So we'll see.
You go training to run a marathon by yourself is not the same as training with a professional coach in a professional group.
Yeah.
It's just not. Doesn't mean that you won't be ready to run the marathon.
Yeah.
But it is different.
You going down to Run Club 5 days a week and got Jeff Cunningham leading the thing, and it's a different battle.
Someone on your ass, kind of. It's different. Yeah, it's totally different. It's just, we'll see. But again, Deion Smith, he doesn't have to be 100% ready for Furman.
No.
If you need Deion Smith to beat Furman, guys, it's over. There are L's coming. So
no, but I mean,
he's got time.
Your thought is at the end of September when Kentucky comes to town and all these guys are full speed, and you go, okay, now let's play football.
Yeah.
See where it's headed.
If any of the other 4 games are tests.
Because we'll get to the thing in a minute, like Wake sucks.
Yeah. Like very bottom of the ACC.
Yeah. So anyway. All right. Podcast brought to you in part by the Ole Miss Athletics Foundation. They want to thank you for an incredible 2023-2024 athletics season. They say none of it's possible without you, the fans. Fall sports are right around the corner. So they can't wait to get you back on campus soon. 2024 men's and women's basketball season ticket and donation renewal deadline. That's coming up August 31st. Just a few weeks away. If you want to get your priority points up Before seat or parking selections, give them a call. Call the foundation at 662-915-7159. Or for more information, visit give2athletics.com. That's GIVETO athletics.com.
We're brought to you by Comer Heating and Air, Southern Air Conditioning and Heating. Different names, same great people, products, and services. If you live in Oxford, Batesville, Tupelo, or the surrounding area, call Comer 662-801-1777. If you live in Hernando, Memphis, or the surrounding area, call Southern 662-429-4429. My post-game columns this season, we brought to you by Window Hero. From window cleaning to pressure washing, gutter cleaning, gutter guards, and everything in between, Window Hero has the experience, equipment, and expertise to make your property look and feel brand new. If you're in North Mississippi, let Window Hero make your home or business's exterior look amazing. Their experts are fully bonded and insured. Window Hero provides specialized equipment, exclusive cleaning solutions, a satisfaction guarantee, and they can clean up to 4 stories on buildings. Locations all over North Mississippi. Roby and Susan Allen are dedicated to helping Oxford and all of North Mississippi with their windows, gutters, and everything in between. Call Window Hero at 662-510-7077 to get an estimate. Learn more at windowhero.com. I'll have another practice report-ish sort of thing out today. It's brought to you by Southern Q Sauce. Southern Q Sauce is crafted by hand in small batches to capture that tangy, sweet, and smoky taste with just enough heat. The original recipe features the Deep South flavors of apple cider vinegar, sweet brown sugar, tomato, and hickory. It's a blend of Tennessee, Mississippi, and the Carolinas with a sweet, smoky finish. Southern Q Sauce has a variety of rubs, from Old Faithful, which is an all-purpose rub, to Old Smoky, Honey Pecan, the Clucker, and the Longhorn. Whether you're a professional pitmaster or an occasional backyard chef, Southern Q Sauce has the sauces and rubs to have your friends and family coming back for more. Check it out for yourself. Go to southernqsauce.com. Use the discount code Rebel Grove, one word, Rebel Grove, 15% off your order. Are you retiring soon? How long should you wait to take Social Security? What accounts should you pull from first? Are you already retired? Should you consider Roth conversions? These are some of the questions that can only be answered with a personalized retirement income plan. Andrew Sego Wealth Management specializes in helping folks just like you come up with their retirement game plan. Whether you meet at his office in Collierville or prefer Zoom from anywhere, schedule a free discovery meeting. See what they can do for you. It's rebelsretire.com. And we're brought to you by Grenada Home Center. They've got paints by Benjamin Moore, Pittsburgh Paints, and Farrell Calhoun. Flooring of any and all types, stone countertops, whether you're looking for granite, quartz, or anything else. And they've got window treatments from plantation shutters to whatever else suits your fancy. It's Grenada Home Center, 1301 Sunset Drive, Suite H in Grenada. Call them at 662-226-3127.
Yeah, Austin with the super chat a little while earlier. He says, hot take, Neal, Scott's Tots is bad, but the most cringeworthy episode of The Office is the episode where Michael breaks up with Pam's mom.
Yeah, the whole Pam's mom thing is every one of those episodes are like just cringy.
What season is this?
I don't remember.
It's got to be late.
It's fairly late. It's before, well, Michael's still there,
yeah,
obviously.
The switch, yeah.
Yeah, those are bad. But what they're setting up in that was just how desperate he was. They were starting to set up his exit at that point.
But that's hard to do because you can't make him unlikable for an exit. Like, that's not.
You make him. He's so sympathetic. He's so pathetic that you feel sorry for him, but you still like him because he's Michael.
Yeah, pathetic's a good word. That's correct.
It's pathetic at that point. I mean, the minute he found out that was Pam's mom, that should have been a disqualifier. Like, okay, no, that's not going to work.
But why?
I mean, his relationship with Jim and Pam is such that that should have been and Pam, to her credit, right away was like, no, Michael, no.
No.
This is no, God, no.
Yeah.
So, and then when they have the baby, he's there, and when he walks in, Pam's mom is there, of course. Her daughter just had a child. He's like, what are you doing here? He's like Hugh Freeze if Hugh Freeze were a nice guy.
Oh.
Total narcissist.
Oh.
But a nice guy.
And a little more simpleton, obviously.
Yeah.
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 You didn't agree with Hugh saying he should have beat Nick 4 times?
No. I mean, shut up.
His
one of the wins was a play where the ball bounces off the helmet and come on, stop. You got breaks. You almost lost the 2014 game by being an idiot with Jeremy
down
Liggins.
at the goal line.
I mean, well, it was literally, down.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah. Well,
you pulled your kicker. You did all sorts of goofy ass stuff. No, you caught breaks. No, absolutely.
So
not.
he was going on with Marty Smith, I guess is who it was, and they put a clip out, and he talked about 2016, and that's where my confusion came in. Is that he goes, well, we should have beat him in 2016. We were up 24-3, and I did wrong by not slowing it down. You were up 24-3 like midway through the second quarter. There was no slowing it down. Bama took advantage of
a terrible
turnovers,
defense. You had recruited badly on the defensive side
teams.
of the ball. Yes.
They had 2 touchdowns on fumbles or special teams, it feels like.
I can't remember all the details. I just remember that it was...
That had already tightened back up toward halftime.
That was Jalen Hurts, right?
Yes.
Freshman Jalen Hurts?
That is correct, I believe. I think so.
I mean, come on. You had a freshman quarterback on the road, rattled, because was it Haynes, Marquise Haynes, leveled him, and Youngblood picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown?
Was that year? Okay.
Yeah, that was that game.
Yeah.
So you had him rattled, and you let him completely off the hook because you couldn't stop anybody. Go back through that season. I mean, stop. They gave up a gazillion points to everybody because they failed to recruit on the defensive side of the ball.
Oh, they were horrible defensively.
And that didn't happen. I mean, Dave Womack didn't suddenly forget how to coach defense. That's not how that works. It was personnel. To Kiffin's everlasting credit, he says it all the time. It's about players. Chris Beard says this all the time. It's about players. Show me a team that wins the NCAA championship, and I will show you a team that has talented players. It's not what's the basketball Hoosiers. It's not some coach just out-coaches everybody.
Well, they had Jimmy Chitwood.
They did. Coaching matters, but you got to have players.
I mean, Chitwood could put the ball in the hoop.
You think Clark Lee would have a better team at Vanderbilt if he had Notre Dame's roster?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just guessing they'd be a little better.
Yeah, look, that series was interesting for 3 straight years because both teams took advantage of things, had some bad plays, had some big plays, and it was kind of defined by missed chances and big plays from 14 to 16. And what made it, at the time, before Ole Miss fell off, maybe the most anticipated game for a couple years there in the SEC, just because of Hugh trying to do the giant killer thing and Ole Miss climbing and having the talent and the exits bowls and all the things from that standpoint.
They didn't handle success well, period.
Yeah. Every game was marred by both teams catching really bad breaks and making big plays to win games. All 3 of those games. Ole Miss got screwed on the Mathers face mask, came back, then tried to screw it up at the end, and then got the big play. And
they didn't. He did.
Well, fair. And then thank God for replay if you're Ole Miss and Swinson
Quez. They got it right.
The whole deal.
They got it right. Sure.
2015, ball bounces off the helmet.
Lands in, was it Quincy's?
There's 1 or 2 special teams turnovers that game for Ole Miss. I know Channing knocked at least 1 ball out.
That was the 14 game.
Was it the 14 game?
Was it Kayla Moore recovered it?
Was it?
I mean, that was a big play.
Pulling some names out right there.
Those are great games. I mean, I give him credit. He won them, but for him to turn around and go, well, we just ran out of, we just didn't, we just didn't, whatever. I mean, luck has a tendency to even out. It really does. And the credit to Alabama is that Alabama handled success really well. Hell, Alabama handled adversity really well. Nick Saban did a really good job. You're up 24-3 in that game. Yeah, you ought to win the game, but they didn't. And it wasn't because Hugh went too fast. It's because your defense sucked, because you stopped recruiting good defensive players, because you were obsessed with stars. He recruited that linebacker out of California as hard as you could recruit a linebacker. The kid ended up not being any good, and he was never coming.
Juarez.
They passed on the kid from Grenada who went and played in the NFL for years. Can't think of his name.
Jannard Avery.
Thank you. Kid would have crawled on broken glass to Oxford. And Matt Luke, who was recruiting him, wanted him badly. Hugh overruled him. He only had 3 stars. I don't want to do a Hugh Freeze redux. It's a shame, really, that he didn't get to coach the 2017 season. We would have put an end to a lot of this.
Once they lost to Bama, even though they beat Georgia like they did in Kirby's first year, mentally they just were kind of done. Like they didn't handle things mentally to salvage the season. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because they still were talented enough to be 7-5, 8-4.
They lost by 5 touchdowns to a 4-7 Mississippi State team at home.
Just clear this up out of typing. Somebody asked me, did I hang out with Hugh much at the country club? No, I saw Hugh a lot after he was fired, and then Tupelo Reb asking, why were you able to see him? It wasn't that I was able to see him. He was just there a lot because he wasn't doing anything else.
Yeah.
He literally was just trying to kill time and play golf.
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't that we were hanging out or that I then could do something with him. It was simply that I saw him in the dining area a good bit when I was there.
He wasn't in your bourbon club.
He was already gone by the time I got involved, so I don't know if he was prior to that or not. I can't say what the prior membership was or was not at that juncture. So yeah, I mean, it's they had a good team, but they had mental lapses after those 2 games going the way they did, and then it just completely deteriorated.
Yeah,
in ways that are hard to explain. When we talked about it, all the way down to State in the 55-20 game.
the state team was 4-7 walking into Vaught Hemingway that day. They were 4-7. I don't know, today's not the day, but sometime it would be interesting practice just to pull up Mississippi State 2016 and look at the 11 games leading up to that game. They won by 5 touchdowns, and Mullen got bored. They could have won by 6 or 7 touchdowns.
Austin asking how close was Ole Miss to getting Jalen Ramsey. I remember the recruitment, but I don't recall it being something where they had him at the end or anything.
They were in it, but it was going to be a difficult pull.
To my knowledge, Jeffrey has never played golf with Hugh Freeze. If he has, I am unaware of it.
Boy, pay to watch that.
And I think I would be aware of it had it happened. So we could stream that bad boy.
I mean, Neal, what price would you pay for that? How much we got? Do I have a few minutes to sell some stuff? I mean,
I'm all over the map today. It just kind of is what it is with the Tuesday. But Lane, he was interesting yesterday on 2 counts, and you mentioned one of them when we walked out. He didn't really want to be there yesterday. Mm-hmm. He was not overly engaged. He had his mind wherever else it was yesterday. But hidden in that, the way he's bragging on the defensive line, the elite players on the defensive line, frankly, just kind of bragging on his talent, period.
Yeah.
He really likes this group. We talked about it 2 weeks ago in his first press conference of the fall or preseason, whatever. But even before that, I when he walked out yesterday, I went, not that, because it's interesting. Lane really appreciates the Ole Miss rosters that won a lot of games despite being outmanned. Like, he has a huge spot in his heart for the way they had grit and fight and all the words to just get that done without the manpower that is necessary.
They bought in and played hard for him. But if you're not talented enough on the lines of scrimmage, you have ceilings. We talk about ceilings and floors because they're real things.
And he's proud of how they got so close to their ceiling despite those issues they had from a physicality
I would argue that last year's team absolutely hit the ceiling.
Yeah.
Like, there was not even a hair's difference between their ceiling and where the ceiling was.
No doubt.
They hit it.
And there's an appreciation that he shows in that. There's part of him right now, though, that's just really enjoying coaching a team that's more talented. Like, what you see him right now is almost kind of getting into his groove of going, hey, this is kind of fun.
Sure.
Because I see a different level of player out there.
Sure.
And I thought that was the main thing that came out. Because, I mean, he essentially called the defensive line elite yesterday.
He did,
which he doesn't do.
I think he did use that word.
Did he use it? I couldn't remember if I paraphrased it or he used it, but yes, that was.
Well, I mean, look, I'm not a football expert, but I've covered the league for a long time. And we only get 15 minutes. And if you go over and watch the defensive line, and I typically do for a minute or two every one of those practices, I mean, it's obvious that it's a really talented group. Versatile. You got guys like Ivy and Pegues and Nolan and obviously Princely, but it goes beyond just that. The young kids look good. Like Cam Franklin's a big kid.
Jamarius Brown's really good.
You know, I mean, how much they can do this year, I don't know. We'll see. But there's
Xavion Harris is talented.
he is. He is. A lot of options, a lot of different people that can play different roles. But I do think they have that front line group that has a chance to, at least during periods of games, to be dominant. And I don't know that they've had that in a long time.
Pegues, Ivy, Nolan, and Umana Malin.
And Perkins.
Yeah.
I mean, Perkins doesn't look like a defensive lineman because he's not as big as a defensive lineman, but he's very fast. And I think Golding has found a role for him to play. To their credit,
yes.
I think in an ideal world, he plays linebacker. But they're like, that's not where he's best at right now. So let's move him to a place where he can impact the game better. And for that, that's that rush in spot. I mean, I think in an ideal world, he's one of their linebackers, but it's obviously you can't force that. So they have some depth. They're good enough up front, I think, to overshadow some potential issues at linebacker. And I do think there are some potential issues at linebacker. I just do. Maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, it's fine. It won't be the first time. And then I don't know about the back end. I mean, I hear people go, they don't have enough elite corners. Well, there's a reason that anytime there's an elite corner, he goes fourth in the NFL draft. I mean, those guys are hard to find. Mm-hmm. So they don't have enough elite corners. Well, does anybody? What does that even mean? No. Do they have 3 first-round picks at cornerback? They don't. They don't. But I'm not sure. I mean, Alabama, when they won championships, did.
And he really likes Amos.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah, likes Amos a lot. Amos is good. Amos was emerging as one of those Alabama corners a year ago.
I'm really interested in Brandon Turnage to see what that looks like after this road and
he's big.
Getting back and physicality now. Yeah, he looks the part.
No,
they do have length at the position more than they used to.
Well, they have length everywhere.
They do,
exception of linebacker a little bit.
Yeah, it's the biggest change from a roster standpoint, other than the obvious, is simply they've added so much length.
Yeah,
across the entire defense.
Yeah,
that they just didn't have at times.
They're deeper on the offensive line. He's talked about that. We talked about the receiver room. Jackson Dart's in his 3rd year as a starter. Really 4th year as a starter because he started half the games his first year at USC.
Mm-hmm.
He's got a lot of starts under his belt. There's a lot of continuity. I don't think they're quite as good at running back as they'd like to be. I think if we're just being honest.
And they've admitted that.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, without criticizing the kids, they've admitted that.
I mean,
they have to find roles and things. And
Kevin Smith is coaching hard.
He is.
He's trying to develop every little bit he can. And they got time. Again, they're not going to lose to Furman because of running back play.
I'll give Kevin that. He is all out every second he's out there. I mean, it's just constant. It's go. A lot of teaching.
And Bentley's really good. Bentley's deal is, can he stay healthy?
Yeah.
Because traditionally he has not stayed healthy.
Yeah. If he's healthy,
so we'll see.
He's a lead back.
But look, it's a really good team. It's why yesterday when I made the comment about if you told me 10-2 was wrong, I'd go 9-3. I was like, what does that mean? I'm like, look, I'm still picking 10-2. I mean, I still think they're a really good team. 11-1, like I told somebody, is heady stuff. I mean,
it takes
there won't be many teams nationally that go 11-1. 11-1's hard.
Did you say Texas thinks they might have lost another running back last night?
I did not see that, but it's just August, man. Coaches, again, was it you I was talking to? Maybe it was Tyler. There was a story, it was quoting Sam Pittman and Hugh Freeze, and it was talking about decisions you make in August about, hey, we feel like we need to be physical. Let's be physical in these periods, and those are the periods that keep the coaches up at night, worrying about those periods.
And just the luck that somebody's not going to have a non-contact.
Well, I think it was Freeze.
That's where
I think Freeze said they were looking at the film of one of their contact periods, and the running back just missed getting rolled up on by like this much, and he was like, oh, God. And I get it. That's not a criticism of anybody. It's a hard decision to make. How physical do you get? There's in Hard Knocks when they were with the Detroit Lions where Dan Campbell went live near the end of a practice, 1v1s with the Lions. And he said, when he had the team gathered up around him, he's like, I saw some of you guys look at me like I'm crazy. I promise you there's a method to the madness.
Yeah.
He'd done the research and blah, blah, blah. And I know I'm putting your bodies at risk, but we've got to be ready to go. And we can't be week 7 before we're ready to play. It was fascinating. And you realize that is a thing for all. And Lane has addressed it. Lane has admitted out loud 2 times now that they're doing it this way. There's a researched thing that they're doing. And he's like, I mean, we think it's the right way to do it. Others don't. And he's basically saying, I'm not saying they're wrong, but we're committed to this.
So looking at it here, they'd already lost Baxter, their starting running back for the season, with a leg injury. Christian Clark, the true freshman who is now the backup because of the already injury they had. He suffered what is believed to be a serious lower leg injury per Anwar Richardson of Orange Bloods. It is not believed to be an ACL, but that it is considerable in nature, whatever that means. And they are considering moving redshirt freshman receiver Ryan Niblett to running back to make up for the depth. So Texas having a bad week.
At some point, that stuff bites you. I mean,
you can't just keep rolling them new in. I mean,
like your Braves this year. I mean,
they're
just injuries make it where it's hard. The path is hard.
I mean, lose 2 of your top 3 running backs before August 15th.
I was going to say before the season's even. I mean, Texas doesn't play for another. They're like Ole Miss. They don't play for another 18 days.
And I'm assuming they don't play until Michigan, really.
I mean,
they open with Colorado State.
God, you got to start thinking. I mean, if you're Sarkisian, you got to start thinking about, hey, we got to change the way we're practicing with these guys. And then you send a message to the rest of your team.
But I think these are lower. I think these are non-contacts. I think they're just tearing knees up. I mean,
it's where you look at your training staff.
What do you do?
What are we doing?
Yeah, I think it's twice that it's not like he got popped. I think it's just happening.
You do wonder if some of these guys are overtraining.
Everything's tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So strong and big, and the joints are.
Yeah, ligaments have to have somewhere to go. So, all right, Prime Shrimp, primeshrimp.com. A lot of different flavors available for you. They've got their soy ginger. That's their most recent offering they have available. It's great with hibachi, other proteins, vegetables, rice, plenty of different things there with the soy ginger. Their best seller is New Orleans style barbecue. The signature is awesome. It's one of my favorites. Kind of a garlic flavor. It's a great all-purpose one for your high-protein snacks, your lunches. Throw it on a salad, just eat it by itself. Put it with whatever you got, or make it an easy dinner. Got kids' activities, a lot of stuff going on at night. They make it easy for you. Fewer than 10 minutes, freezer to plate. They mail it directly to your door. Restaurant-quality shrimp from the New Orleans-based company. We're going to make it easy on you as well. That's code RG, and you get 25% off when you buy 5 pouches or more. That's code RG. 5 pouches or more, 25% off with primeshrimp.com.
Arnett's Fine Jewelry is a 4th-generation jeweler. Arnett's is located in the old Lamons Jewelry Building on North Lamar Avenue in Oxford. They offer expert jewelry repair, diamond engagement rings, wedding bands, stackable diamonds, genuine stone bands, pearls, genuine color stones, genuine diamond jewelry, and much more. Super gifts for many occasions, birthdays, graduation, anniversary gifts. They've got flexible bangles, diamond pendants, earrings. And guys, if your wife is expecting a baby, Arnett's can help you find that perfect push present. They can also help you find an awesome gift for Christmas at Arnett's. They want to be your jeweler. The College Corner is the place to go to get all of your Ole Miss gear as you get ready for the football season. 2 locations in the Jackson area, 1 in Oxford, just off of Sisk Avenue, there at the Oxford Commons. More than 4,000 square feet of the best Rebel gear. They'll have you in and out, ready for the Grove in no time. Check them out at collegecornerstore.com. When you work with Argent Wealth's 401k advisory services team, you gain a valuable advisory team and time-saving resource that will help you develop and maintain a solid strategy for your retirement plan. They're committed to providing you with the personalized attention and involvement that you want and need. Their goal is to help you manage your 401k plan properly and ultimately improve your employees' retirement readiness. It's myargentwealth.com. And we're brought to you by John Edwards, Regency Travel Incorporated in Memphis. John is part of Virtuoso. It's a worldwide network of travel partners that allows him to supply his clients with added values, unique benefits simply not available to other travelers. Get in touch with John if you are thinking about making a special trip, one that creates a lifetime of unique memories. Just give him some parameters, give him a budget. He will give you options that you're probably not going to find on your own. 901-494-3387 or Jay Edwards at regencytravel.net. And we're brought to you by Corinth Dental. Get the beautiful and healthy smile you deserve at Corinth Dental. Dr. Bubba McQueen, Dr. Jenny Beth Hendrick are devoted to restoring and enhancing the natural beauty of your smile using conservative, state-of-the-art procedures that will result in a beautiful, long-lasting smile. From routine checkups to advanced treatment, including implants and Invisalign, Corinth Dental is here to help you achieve your smile goals. Schedule your appointment today. Take the first step toward a better version of yourself. It's corinthdental.com.
Podcast is brought to you by G&M Pharmacy, 662-236-2222. They deliver locally in the Oxford area, and they offer medicine. Your prescriptions the same day each month. Take care of you. Also easy to transfer your medications. Just make one phone call. They take care of the rest. They do whatever it is you need. I use them pretty much weekly. Stop in. Again, with MedSync, you can do one day, one trip, have everything you need for the month with Tyson Drugs in Holly Springs or G&M in Oxford. Again, that's 662-236-2222. No real other news out of Lane yesterday, outside of he failed to comment on his latest suit that is going on from the author of Winning Isn't Normal from, I think, the 1980s is when that book is from.
Right?
Yeah, he's a psychologist that focused on training swimmers, I believe, is like his specialty.
He's sued a bunch of people, by the way.
He very much likes the copyright to his book.
Yes.
The legal thing that I found interesting as I was reading it, and I spent more time on it than I probably should have or wanted to in hindsight, was that he was claiming that Lane's Twitter is a commercial entity that makes Lane money. So Lane was profiting off his words.
How's that work?
By putting it on. I mean, I guess technically Lane is verified, so he would get a small amount of ad revenue off that, but the percentage of that compared to Lane's actual annual revenue is quite microscopic.
Because if Lane's making significant money off Twitter, I'm at the next press conference, I'm going to pepper him with Twitter questions. Like, hey, how's that work?
Yeah.
Fill me in. Let's talk.
How did we get checks here?
Yeah.
What is this?
So when you get the check, like, how does that?
Yeah.
Can you walk?
Yeah, forget the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Hold on a minute.
Lane, could you please stop talking about Trey? I want to get back to the Twitter thing. How did you go about the monetization of your Twitter account? Was there a paperwork that you had?
Yeah. Oh, you hadn't filled that out?
I've not.
Have you not?
No.
Now, if you're verified, you can get. I mean, like I barely tweet, and I make like a little bit every month.
Like define a little bit.
I think it was like $80 last month or something like that. I don't know. I mean, it's better than not having $80.
Almost a tank of gas.
Yeah, something like that. I mean,
no, I've not filled out the monetization. I need to do that, I guess.
Yeah, you need.
I'm verified.
Yeah, you got to be verified. You need like 1,000 followers, and I think you need at least 5 million impressions over 3 months.
Okay,
and you can check that online, something like that.
Okay,
yeah, there is. That's my point. So I'm sure Lane does hit those standards if he has done the monetization.
Yes,
or if Ole Miss has done the monetization for Lane.
Yeah,
which why not? Because it's just there, but. Arguing that is a commercial entity where Lane is trying to take this cat's work. Because here's the funny part is there's like a non-zero chance that's probably pretty high that somebody on the staff did that anyway and not even Lane. So it's like, would that be your argument in court that, hey, one of my associates actually tweeted that, so it wasn't even me that did it? So... He wanted to say more. He stopped himself, said he can't talk about it, and then added in that he had not read the book from the gentleman at this juncture.
No, he hasn't.
So, you sent this to me yesterday. RJ Young, Fox Sports, he ranked all 134 college football teams.
Yeah.
Again, Ole Miss opened at 6 in the AP poll. They opened up behind Georgia, Ohio State, Oregon, Texas, and Alabama. Notre Dame was at 7. Georgia got most of the first for first place votes. I think Ohio State got 15 of the 62, and Oregon got 1, if I have that right off the top of my head. I saw it's the lowest Alabama has been ranked in the preseason since 2009, if it tells you anything. Number 5 for the Crimson Tide. It's the highest Ole Miss has been ranked since opening 5th in 1970. That is a team in Archie Manning's final season and John Vaught's final season of his first tenure. At that point, I think it is a team that went 7-4 with a loss to someone in the Gator Bowl, if I have that correct. I'll just memory, but something like that. Ole Miss was last ranked in the preseason in the top 10, as I mentioned, in 2009. They opened at 8 that year in 2009. So
I remember that.
Yes. Houston Nutt with his glasses on the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yep. Those were the days.
Look, in a lot of ways, that is true. It's a fun team. They got
08 was a fun team.
08, okay, good point. 08
09 was not a fun team. 10 was not a fun team. And 11, oh my God.
11 was not a fun team.
Yo, what's on that hat? You kept looking right.
Was that the LSI?
LSI.
12 was a fun team. 13 was a fun team.
Like Houston, it's an I.
The 13 opener against Vanderbilt is maybe one of the more interesting games we've ever covered, just because that was the opener for Robert and Tony and Laquan and Laramie and all those dudes.
Yeah, and that was a James Franklin Vanderbilt team.
It was a big game. They score late, get the comeback.
It was a good Vanderbilt team. Who was that receiver for them?
Matthews.
Yeah, I think so. He played in the league for a while. He was a stud.
He was. He caught every damn thing. He was throwing up at one point in the middle of the game because he was their offense.
It was hot and humid that night.
I'm sure they had a running back that I loved. I don't remember who it would have been at that point, but I'm sure they had a dude.
Was it Jordan Matthews?
That sounds right. That's what I was going to say. Had you made me say it?
He was a beast.
But even beyond the schedule, I found this interesting, this R.J. Young thing, from the standpoint of looking at Ole Miss's schedule for the season, and even teams that aren't in the top 25.
That's what I thought was interesting, too.
Yeah, not even necessarily the top, but that they do like some of these opponents as far as being reputable teams. I mean, you look at this. Ole Miss obviously plays Georgia at and he actually has Ohio State number 1, so let's point that out at the top. Georgia number 2. So Ole Miss plays on this list number 2. He has LSU at number 7.
Mm-hmm.
That is notable. I think LSU is 13 in the AP poll off the top of my head. Something like that. Just for sake of the conversation, he has Alabama at 9, Missouri at 10. He has Oklahoma at 11. I think Oklahoma's like 16 or something in the AP.
Yep.
So
a lot of people really like their defense, and there are people that really like Jackson Arnold.
I just think Arnold's 1 year away. My opinion.
And I agree with you. But there are people that are around that Oklahoma program, some that are like, hey, this kid's got it.
Mm-hmm. I get it. He has Tennessee at 13. And then let's take a step right there. SEC teams 2, 6, 7, 9, 10, 11, and 13. 2, 3. Sorry, I forgot Texas. 11 and 13 with Tennessee at 13.
Mm-hmm.
He has Penn State at 14. People are just so all over the map on Drew Ayler and what they're getting or not getting from him at quarterback. Yeah. It's going to be the season storyline that maybe bugs me the most as we go through the season.
I was really impressed with their program in Atlanta.
Yeah.
I just was.
No doubt. But Ayler is not elite.
He's not.
A&M at 22 on this list. I think 20 in the AP, maybe something like that.
Something like that.
Okay, somewhere in that realm. But then after that, this is what's interesting.
Yes.
Kentucky and Arkansas at 28 and 29. That's very relevant spots.
So here are the arguments for those two teams.
Okay.
Kentucky returns its like 18 starters. And they've got Brock Vandagriff at quarterback, who couldn't get on the field at Georgia. Is that because he's not good, or is it because he wasn't as good as Carson Beck? Who wasn't as good as Stetson Bennett?
Right.
I don't know the answer to that. People in Lexington are super excited about Vandagriff. And then here's the argument at Arkansas. And I'm not making it. It's their argument. Chill. God, please. They went to Oxford, Tuscaloosa, and Baton Rouge last year and lost 3 one-possession games.
Yeah, I think it was like 12 total points or something.
Their argument is we're not as far away as you think. They brought in Petrino as their offensive coordinator, and he's running it. Pittman's not in the way. It's not
as opposed to Jimbo. This
completely.
is his show. Yeah,
Jimbo's like, yeah, you can run, you can call the offense, but you can only use my plays. Pittman goes, it's your offense. Go get the quarterback you want. He went and got the kid from Boise. I can't think of his name. He brought that kid in. That was the kid he wanted. They brought him in to run Petrino's offense. Internally, they think they're better on defense than they were a year ago. And they weren't bad on defense a year ago. So they look at it and go, we weren't as far. We were shitty at the end because those 2 losses at the end they quit. Missouri, Auburn, those were quit. You can't get away from that. That was like the 16 Ole Miss team.
you're not just the Florida State close loss.
Those are warning signs. Like that's not good. But that's their argument. We'll see. I mean, I think he sort of agrees with it, is that those teams are not going to be as bad. And again, I'm not, because I know everyone views everything through an Ole Miss prism. I think Kentucky and Arkansas are wins for Ole Miss. But the point is, those 2 teams might actually be better than people think they are.
Look, as long as you beat them, you want them to be better. Go beat somebody else.
Sure.
You know what I mean? As long as you win the game, say, go have fun, guys.
Oh, I mean, look.
Go do what you want to do.
If you're an Ole Miss fan, and you beat Kentucky and you beat Arkansas, you want those teams to beat the teams on your schedule, that are not on your schedule.
The day that Arkansas plays Texas, as long as you know you beat the Razorbacks, go Hogs.
Well, yeah, the day
go
that
pull that bitch off.
The day that Arkansas plays Auburn.
Yeah.
When they go to Auburn. If you think you're going to beat Arkansas later in the year, you want Arkansas to beat Auburn.
Mm-hmm. Don't be a train wreck.
It's not complicated. If you beat Kentucky in September, you'd like for the Cats to go on and start winning some games. Because just in case, you wouldn't mind that being a 9-win Kentucky team. When the committee is trying to decide which 10-2 team gets in and which 10-2 team doesn't get in. And frankly, the road teams, if you're an Ole Miss fan, if you have any common sense, assuming you win these games, you want South Carolina, Arkansas, and Florida to be decent teams. You want those to be decent road wins. You don't want them all to be 4-8. I mean, I know as a fan you hate everybody and you want everybody to suffer and lose. But if you're 10-2 and all of your road wins are against teams that went 5-7 or worse, it's not going to do much for your resume.
Because if Florida's decent and you beat them, they could pave your way for you.
Yeah.
They knock off LSU. They knock off whomever. I don't know.
Sure. Well, your point. I mean, Kentucky knocks off Missouri.
Yeah, somebody beats Tennessee and gets them out of the way.
Arkansas beats Texas.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, those teams are out of the way.
Yeah, it's a big game of. I mean, it's essentially a big tournament from day one. You start eliminating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pool play, if you will. Everybody.
Yeah, it's
getting
why
there.
I was doing when I did the worst case thing. The more I thought about worst case, I was like, well, worst case is that Ole Miss loses to Kentucky or South Carolina and then loses to LSU and looks up on October the 13th and they go, it's over. We're done. And then you kind of let go of you lose a little of the motivation, and next thing you know, you're a 4 or 5 loss team. That's going to happen to somebody. That is going to happen to somebody. A team that you're like, well, they're probably a 9-3 team and they go 6-6, 7-5 because the losses came early and they just went, screw it.
He has Auburn at 38, looking down through the SEC. He has Colorado at 41, Florida at 43. So even then, top 43, I mean,
No, it's not bad.
Nothing.
No.
Actually, I think in a vacuum without that schedule, I think Florida's even better than that.
Well, I do too. I think
I wrote that. I think Florida is better than Kentucky.
Talking to people around the league is that there's some teams that are a tick better than we kind of are predicting them to be, and Florida's one of them.
The other side of that is people don't typically go, hey, they're worse than we think. We only get that for Carolina.
I've heard it for a few teams.
Yeah.
I mean, I can think of 3 that I've heard it already.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Looking down for the SEC, that's obviously close to the end of it. Tulane down at 66. That's interesting in Summerall's first year because that's way behind SMU and Memphis and some of these other teams that are likely competing for that Group of 5 spot out of the American. South Al 62. Oh, Carolina 61.
Yeah, South Carolina 61.
Not seeing much out of them at this point. Vanderbilt at 99, and then Ole Miss's other opponent, Wake Forest, coming in at 86.
Where's Mississippi State?
Oh, yeah, I forgot the Bulldogs. Sorry.
God, it's all you do.
Where are they?
I'm looking.
78.
78.
They are tucked in between. Is that Oregon State? Did they lose that much? The whole damn place leave because they don't have a conference?
It's kind of how that works, Chase.
I'm asking.
Yes.
Okay.
Middle Tennessee at 100, by the way.
Okay.
And my
State tucked in between Oregon State and what I believe to be Miami of Ohio.
That's correct.
It's all logos, so I'm having to brush up a little bit on a couple of my logos.
My boys from Ruston are 125.
And ULM is down at the very bottom of that board.
We got nowhere to go but up. Right behind Kennesaw State. Look out, Kennesaw State.
As opposed to Kirby, they can go, nobody believes in us. Because it's 100% true. No one believes in you at all. Dead last. What's their coach's name? Brian Vincent?
Yeah. Look out, Kennesaw State. We are coming for 133, baby.
Florida Atlantic no longer has Lane Kiffin as the coach. They're at 123.
Yeah, they've fallen off a little. Plenty of tickets available in Ruston, Louisiana Tech at 125. Plenty of tickets available. Eastern Michigan, 129. How much they've fallen? It's because they disrespected me. Who's that at 132? Is that
Appalachian State, isn't it?
Is that right?
Or is that Akron?
I think that's Akron.
That's Akron.
I would think Appalachian State's higher than that.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, Appalachian State's at 40.
Okay. Oh, yeah, that's them. Yeah.
Liberty's at 42. Boise's at 44. ULL's at 45. It's interesting.
Who's at 83? Is
that Washington?
Well, that's what I'm looking at, but why? 83?
I don't know.
No way. Is that right?
I mean,
that is Washington's logo.
That's what it says.
Okay.
Someone's got to be 83. Michigan State's 82. Wyoming's 84. Boston College 85. Wake's 86.
They were in the playoff last year, and they went to the Big Ten. I did not see that level of.
I mean, two of their offensive linemen are at Ole Miss. One's at Alabama.
And Michael Penix is not
and
playing.
And the coach
is
at
anymore.
Alabama now. Michael Penix is not there.
It's true.
I mean, their quarterback is Will Rogers, right?
It is.
Yeah.
Indiana at 97, Stanford at 98. Is Vanderbilt the lowest power 4?
Yeah, I think so.
I'm quickly scrolling through.
Who's that at 106? Is that Southern Miss?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's Southern Miss.
Yeah. Vanderbilt's the lowest power 5. Power 4, whatever we're calling it now. New Mexico State at 122. Yeah.
Did you see everybody was making fun of your boys' quarterback situation again yesterday in Iowa City?
I did.
Caden McNamara going 8 of 24 with a pick 6 during their scrimmage.
Well, the scrimmage was against us.
It was.
So we're really dominant on defense.
Okay. 8 of 24.
I prefer to look at it like our defense forced 2/3 of the passes to be incomplete and ran one back for a touchdown.
And scored.
So, I mean, you say glass half empty. I see the glass is half full.
Probably hard to recruit wide receivers to Iowa. Running backs. Probably hard to get a lot of skill players that are.
So negative.
They're still going to win 8.5 games.
Yeah.
It's not going to matter. All right, random stuff coming up after the break. First, Northeast Spark, NESPARC. They got a couple different packages for you. The Ignite, the 100 Mbps, or the Blaze. It's the gig, 1 gig, fastest option they have. Your hometown team bringing you world-class broadband. That's nespark.com, 662-238-3159. Phone servers, parental controls, network security, a wireless mesh extender for anyone needing that extra help. Again, that's 662-238-3159 or nespark.com.
Are you a displaced corporate executive wanting to put your career in your own hands? Are you an experienced entrepreneur looking to diversify? Either way, Andy Ludicky can help. He's a longtime Rivals board member, a diehard college football fan, franchise veteran. He owns multiple franchises and businesses, and he uses his expertise to help others find their American dream through a very thorough and free consultation process. So call Andy, put your life and your career in your own hands. It's 100% free. Got nothing to lose. The contest is up at rebelgrove.com, by the way, the August franchise of the month contest. 404-973-9901 or Andy at myperfectfranchise.net. I'll have a mailbag to you tomorrow. It's brought to you by Art Hayes, Sotheby's International Realty. Are you thinking of making a move? Put the power of Sotheby's to work for you as a licensed agent with Sotheby's International Realty and a supporter of all things Ole Miss. Art can help you buy or sell in your hometown or anywhere in the world at no charge to you. Seriously. So call and ask Art how, 612-805-5929, or email Art at Arthur, ARTHUR.Hayes @lakesmn.com.
Tennessee, one of the first schools that will have on-field logos. They have signed a 20-year deal with Pilot, the convenience store, gas station, truck stop, the largest network of travel centers in North America. The deal benefits Neyland Stadium's renovation project, including a return of the iconic, quote, home of the Vols, along with Pilot's logo.
Smart.
Which is what you'll see there. Again, they will do some sort of customization around the logos if it goes.
Smart.
Because this feels like midfield, right? Or not? I don't know.
I mean, that's my guess.
It's my guess, but it's a guess.
And smart. I'm not criticizing.
Keith Carter told me Ole Miss expects to have some type of hash mark logo for this season. Was not sure if it would hit midfield or not for the 2024 season. But they were open to that conversation.
I mean, it would be a dereliction of duty if you weren't open to the conversation. It's free money.
Where people are going to be confused is I don't think the money's going to be as high as some people think it is.
Probably
That's
not,
the catch.
But it's still free money.
Because some people are going, hey, that's going to pay for a renovate. No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No. They're not paying you hundreds of millions or anything. It's a little more level than that. So just be aware. But no issues, no criticisms.
I mean, my criticism would be if someone like Keith were like, no, we're not doing that, by God, no. Tradition. I'd be like, come on.
And someone will not do it for that reason.
Someone will, but I'll criticize those people. I think you have to be open to it at this point. I mean, you can't just give it away, but you come on. You need the money.
Everyone needs the money. Everyone. If you can get it and just move on and let it be what it is and call it a day. And I don't know. Braves did win a game last night. 1-0 over the Giants.
Oh, good
10 innings.
Good for them.
Story this morning about how they're probably going to miss the playoffs.
I mean,
pretty banged up.
It's hard to if you lose
shell of yourself.
When you lose everyone, it's kind of how it works.
Walter Nolan being mentioned as one of the top players that can improve or rocket his draft stock this season. That is correct.
That is true.
That is 100% correct as you read through it. Ooh, I mean, because he's being seen right now as, hey, prove it to us.
Sure.
Show us it's there.
100%. I mean, the physical talent, it's obvious. Got to prove that you're going to be locked in. Your motor's going to rev all the time. Because in the NFL, you got to answer the bell 17 times.
I saw this. Just thought it was sort of interesting. I've got a couple more of these for tomorrow. And we'll do them then when I need more of them. But so there are 12 markets in the U.S. that have all four Big Four sports teams. NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Since 2020, so over a 4 or 5 year sample size, the combined winning percentages of those 12 markets, when you look at, again, they have to have all four, and then they take all four, combine their winning percentages to that point. 2 standouts, and then 1 way at the bottom. Any idea off the top of your head what that would be? Where those places would be?
Take me through it again.
Okay, so it's U.S. markets with all 4 major men's sports teams. Okay. NHL, NBA, Major League Baseball, NFL.
Okay.
Their combined winning percentage since 2020. So the last 5 years, all of those. So basically, if you're a fan of teams in this market, here's how happy or unhappy you are with how your teams have done.
Okay.
There are 2, really, 4 of the 12 have done really well, and then 3 of the 12 have done awful.
Okay. I'll say Boston's done well.
They are number 1, 559. That is the Red Sox, Celtics, Pats, and Bruins. Number 1.
Number 1.
Number 2 is kind of propped up by 2 teams a little more.
I was going to say Los Angeles.
Los Angeles is number 7,
Okay.
506. But remember, they have so many teams. You're counting the Angels too. So you got
Right.
Angels, Dodgers,
Kings,
Lakers, Chargers,
Clippers,
Rams, Ducks.
Clippers.
Yeah,
a lot,
Clippers.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. Number 7, 506.
I'm trying to go through the New York stuff in my mind. The Jets have been bad. The Giants have been bad. The Yankees have been okay. Mets have been pretty bad. Rangers, Islanders.
And Devils. They count there for whatever reason because I guess they play.
Then you have Knicks, Nets.
Yep.
So they're down at the bottom, I'm guessing.
They're number 9, 485. 9 out of 12.
Dallas has done okay, right? Stars, Mavs, Cowboys,
And Rangers.
So I'll go with Dallas is up at the top.
Number 3.
Okay.
549. That is correct.
This is gonna be one of those obvious
2 is
things.
tough. 2 is weird. I would not have thought about it.
Okay, I'm trying to think. Phoenix. They don't have a hockey team anymore. Do they still count?
No, I'm not going to do this, and I'm going to help you for a second here, but I'm going to try to do it outside of any order. The Bay Area, Minneapolis, Denver, Dallas, Boston, Detroit, DC, Chicago, Philadelphia, Miami.
All right. So Chicago, the Blackhawks have been average. The Bulls have been average. The White Sox have been bad. The Cubs have been average. The Bears have been bad. I'm looking at Chicago's down.
Number 10 of 12.
Yeah.
427. You're still missing the worst 2, and you're missing number 2.
The Bay Area, the Warriors have been good. Niners have been good. Giants have been average.
The A's suck.
A's are horrible.
And I don't know about the Sharks.
I don't know either. I don't know.
Bay Area is number 8.
Okay.
So kind of in the middle.
Washington's been bad because the Wizards suck. The Commanders or whatever suck.
The Nats. Not
Yeah,
great.
the Nats are bad, and I don't know about the hockey team.
They're number 11.
Okay.
They're next to last.
So someone's worse than
than
all
DC.
of that. Damn.
No, it's pretty obvious once you think about
Oh,
it.
okay.
You're being tricked a little bit by one of the team's really recent success. They suck.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to think like
And I'll just help you and read the list. in a second.
Detroit.
That is correct. Tigers, Pistons, Lions, Red Wings.
Oh yeah. So the Lions do sort of trick you because they had the NFC Championship.
378 on a winning percentage for those 4 teams over the last 5 years.
Minnesota's probably sort of in the middle, right?
Minnesota has done remarkably well for the size of that market. They are 5th.
Yeah.
Twins, T-Wolves, Vikings, and Wild.
Nobody sucks.
Yeah, 5th. Philadelphia is number 4.
Yeah. I was getting ready to
Phillies,
go through Phillies.
Sixers, Eagles, and Flyers. They've done really well.
Yeah.
I think we've named everyone except for number 2. And I would not have had this pegged. My hunch is their hockey team is really carrying them.
Is this the Carolinas?
No.
Okay. Is this Tampa?
No, I'll give you everybody else. Boston's 1, Dallas is 3, Philadelphia is 4, Minneapolis is 5, Denver's 6. Yeah, Denver, by the way, is 6. I've left that one out. Broncos, Avalanche, Rockies, Nuggets.
Okay.
LA 7, Bay Area 8, New York 9, Chicago 10, DC 11, Detroit 12.
I don't know.
552. Miami.
Oh.
But the Panthers are really good.
Panthers are really good. Heat's been solid.
Yeah.
Dolphins have been solid.
And the Marlins, who nobody thinks about.
Yeah.
But they haven't sucked the majority of the time.
Right.
So, yeah, 552 for Miami.
How about that?
Number 2. I would never have had Miami as the number 2 market from that standpoint. I'm not shocked by some of the other ones, but, yeah, it's interesting to me. So, anyway. We will have, again, Neal coverage tonight, 6, 7. It's just viewing. There's no interviews, by the way. It's just hanging out for 15 minutes tonight.
I'm going to write about Trey Amos a little bit. Then I'm going to go and do the Deion Smith watch. If he practices, I will report that he practiced.
Okay. One thing, just because we mentioned at the start of yesterday, whoever is in charge of the Olympics has said that even though the U.S. has video evidence that they got the review in time, that there is no recourse and nothing that they will look at, and it's just final. So they basically said, we do not care that you have video that shows that we are still sticking with our decision.
Well, she should just say, I'm not sending it back.
Yeah. Come get it.
Yeah, come get it, Romania.
I'm going to go put it in my closet, and you come deal with it.
I mean, we're already fighting everybody else. Let's fight the Romanians too, damn it.
Okay. I guess it's technically fighting the
committee.
Or I don't know.
So even though there's video evidence,
the U.S. said they're moving up the chain to the Swiss tribunal, whatever the hell that is.
Boy, I'm going to tell you, those are I mean, I can remember as a kid watching wrestling when Ric Flair would say, I'm taking this to the Swiss tribunal. You knew it was on. You knew that night on TBS it was going to.
The Swiss are not known for their hard line.
Well, no, they're known for their neutrality.
Right. That's what I mean.
Suddenly they're like, why do we have to figure this out?
We're just trying to mind our own business here, guys.
Can everybody get a medal?
Yeah, sure. So, all right. Appreciate everybody around on the stream. Good crowd today. Thanks for the super chats. RebelGrove.com in the meantime, and we'll talk to you again tomorrow.